Yo, I'm going to talk about the DMC World Finals 2025 40th anniversary in Tokyo, Japan. It was held over 2 days. I'll give my impressions of the battle, the venue, the atmosphere, the people who were there, and the results of the battle. Um, the lead up to the battle, there were a lot of DJs in town. They posted on their social media that they were in Tokyo, so there were people from Australia, people from the US, Europe, everywhere. Um, so there was a lot of excitement before the battle. Um, on the Saturday, that was day one, which held the classic category, also the scratch and um, the battle for supremacy. And it was held in O East, a big club in Shibuya. It was a great venue. They had a lot of space, a massive stage, and a lot of people from everywhere. I got to meet some people from Australia and all over the place, Europe, England. Um, so Tony Prince, he is the founder of DMC, and he got an award. I got to meet him, and he's really, um, really influenced a lot of people by starting this competition. Really inspired a lot of DJs and helped the art form evolve over the years. So he got some recognition, which he well deserves. Kentaro also got an award. He went to on the stage with his large family, um, and he got some recognition as well, which he really deserves for his amazing performances in the past. Um, the Scratch Pickles, they also did a performance with Qbert, Shortcut, and D Styles, and they actually Shortcut and D Styles were awarded the Grand Master title from DJ Qbert, so that was a big honor, and they were actually surprised that they got the award as well. Um, so so the Scratch Pickles did some routines, some old routines and some new routines, and it's good to see Shortcut doing well because of his stroke and the health issues that he had recently. So it's good to see him on the stage and seemingly in good health again. You had you had the scratch final, which was between DJ Keita from Japan and Alcis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's from France. It was a very close battle, very highly technical scratching, um, but Alcis, I think, probably had a bit more variation, and he took the title for the scratch. I'll briefly talk about the supremacy battle that was between Raylan and K Swiss. Again, very close. Both were very technical with the juggling and the scratching. Both had a style which I really like, using familiar tracks, old tracks, new tracks, not really editing too much, no pre editing of tracks, um, really using mostly the original songs so people can really understand what they're doing. Um, so yeah, it was quite arguable who won, but um, it was Raylan who took that out. So after that battle, he had K Swiss. I actually spotted him in the crowd. He looked very focused because obviously he lost supremacy, so he was determined to win the classic. Um, So I tapped him on the shoulder, said hi. He sort of gave me a nod, but he looked very determined. I think his father was there helping him set up and stuff. So yeah, it was really interesting to see. Um, but the battle in general was for the classic category was very close as well. Between the top three, you had K Swiss, Fumi, and the kid RC3, where they all had an amazing routines. Um, it was so close. I couldn't say who was a clear winner. All three really hyped the crowd up. Highly technical with the beat juggling, with scratching. But in the end, Fumi took it out. Interesting, after Fumi's routine, he did something similar to what K Swiss did in the previous year, where he got a gun out and was going to shoot something into the crowd, but the gun didn't work. So similar to what happened to K Swiss, that was like a bit of a sort of an anticlimax to a great set that Fumi did. So yeah, in the end, Fumi won, but it was so close. I couldn't say there was a clear winner. Um, but yeah, a great battle. So I'll talk about the open category, and that was at Harlem nightclub in Shibuya. That is a really old and iconic nightclub. I used to live in Tokyo like 20 years ago, and I went to that club, and it still hasn't changed. Um, this venue is a bit smaller, well, actually a lot smaller than O East on day one. So, so there weren't as many people, um, but it was a bit more relaxed sort of environment. I could actually talk to a lot of the DJs. People seemed a lot more chilled. So, yeah, a lot of the big names were there as well. Um, Interesting with this open category, um, it's really hard to judge. I think because I think there's a very broad criteria, um, and it seems my impression is that showmanship, technical ability, and actually an assortment of genres is is highly, you could say, weighted in the criteria. Um, you had DJs, uh, all types of DJs. You had some um, club type DJs who didn't really do a lot of technical things. They just basically just mixed. Um, some had a variety of styles. Like some would play hip hop or R&B or more like EDM type music. Some would mix up like old school stuff with new school. Um, but I'll tell you who really stood out in the open category. One was obviously the champion Beast Mode, who really had an amazing stage presence. I think he has so much experience from past battles um, in Red Bull and the DMC over the last 20 years. So he was very confident and just really commanded the stage, and obviously has the technical skills, the juggling, the scratching, but also has the club experience, the selection of music. Um, so really, he really got the crowd hyped, um, and you could say he was a clear winner. Another DJ that really stood out was the Thai DJ. He had actually a memorable routine in that he mixed a lot of different types of music, some old classic songs with mixed with new songs. Really mixed them in a creative way. He wasn't as technical as Beast Mode, but I really liked his selection and the way he mixed the songs together. Very creative, mixing slower tempo or half tempo with faster tracks. Just blended them really well and had a just had a memorable routine, I think. So those two were really really stood out in the open category. Um, so yeah, I after the battle, I had a chat to Beast Mode, and he seemed very confident after the battle that he'd win. I said that his set was it really stood out, and thought that he actually won it. And then yeah, when they announced the results, Beast Mode took it out, and that was just a historic moment for Australian DJing because I think that is the first Australian DJ to win a world championship in the DMC. So it's an amazing achievement. And you know, a lot of the Australian DJs that were there, J Red and who else? Max Best was there. Paddy B was there. I think FX. Dexter was there as well. So yeah, I think it gave the Australian DJs there a lot of pride when we saw Beast Mode win it. So yeah, it was just an amazing moment for Australian DJing. So I think my general impressions of the DMC, because I've competed for actually quite a long time, and I first competed in the DMCs in the late '90s, early 2000s, and yeah, the battle, the the level has really evolved. You know, the level of skill is just off the charts. So, in summary, it was a greatly run event, a great way to celebrate 40 years of the DMC. It's good to see it still going after such a long time. Well done to DMC and the Japanese organizers. It just was a great event. But I have a few thoughts on the format of the competition. I'd like to see some stricter criteria to the scratch category, the classic and the supremacy categories. I think to encourage I think we need to encourage creativity and originality more so over technical skill. I think technical skills have really evolved, and but I think creativity and originality really need to be emphasized. And the reason for this is I think it can make the routines more audience friendly and also more understandable in general. I think if it becomes too technical, I think the audience and the viewers start to lose interest in the competition. So if we don't have any audience, you're not gonna have any motivation for DJs to practice and compete in this battle. So I think we really need to emphasize creativity and originality. Um, and I'll probably talk about this in a future video. As for the open category, I think it's interesting to see where it will go. I think it has a lot of potential. As it is focused more on the club style of DJing, I think there needs to be an emphasis on track selection and transitions. I think technical skill should be used as a means to perform original creative transitions, but it shouldn't be the focus of this category. But in general, I have positive impressions of the competition and the event. It was an honor to attend the 40th anniversary, and I hope to attend the 50th in 10 years' time. Hope you liked my summary and my review of the event. Thanks for listening. Peace out.